And if you're confused about your identity, you're going to waste your life. Because what matters is not what other people say about you, but what matters is what God says about you. And because he always knows and tells the truth, you want to listen to what he has to say about you. And we've already looked at that. Now, the second part of the foundation is you got to know what God wants you to do. That's your purpose. First, you need to know your identity, and then you need to know your purpose. What on earth am I here for? You got to know who you are, and you've got to know what you were created to do. Then, the third part of a life well lived is you've got to know when to do it. And that's the right timing. Who you are, what you're supposed to do with your life, and when you're supposed to do it. Now, when all three of these line up in your life, your identity and your purpose and your timing, you have the ingredients for a successful life. Now, today, I want you to see God's 5 purposes for the rest of your life. But to set this up, I first want to ask you a question. Who would you guess was the greatest king in the Bible? I don't know if you've been reading the Bible for a long time or just a little time, but you might guess King David, because he's certainly the most famous king. He wrote Psalm 23 and so many other great psalms. You might guess Solomon, who was the wisest king. The Bible tells us he was the wisest and wealthiest king. You might guess Saul, who was the first king of Israel. But God says the greatest king of all in the Bible was a little-known king named Hezekiah. And the Bible tells us all about him in 2 Kings chapter 18. Let me read this to you. Chapter 18 of 2 Kings, verses 2 to 7. Hezekiah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned Jerusalem 29 years. He did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight. Hezekiah trusted the Lord, and there was never another king like him in the land of Judah, either before him or after his time. He remained faithful to the Lord in everything, and he carefully obeyed all the commands of the Lord that he had been given by Moses.